Color. Starting with types of color, there are neutrals, the black, white, grays. Warms are the red, orange, yellow, brown, yellow, green. Greens are the green, teal. Blues, the cold colors, are teal, cyan, blue. Purples are the indigo, purple, violet, pink, red. The color wheel. The color wheel shows relationships among colors. Primary colors are the red, yellow, and blue, and they are pure colors, which means they cannot be mixed from other colors. All the colors on the wheel are created by mixing these three colors. Secondary colors are orange, purple, and green, and each consists of two primaries mixed together. Tertiary colors are colors such as red, orange, and yellow, green that are mixed from one primary and one secondary color. Complementary colors. When choosing colors for a palette, remember that colors sitting opposite each other on the wheel are highly contrasted. For more subtle contrasts, choose near opposites. Analogous colors, colors that sit near each other on the color wheel, have little contrast among themselves. Color and perception. Our visual system is contrast sensitive. We see a color darker when it is on a light background than when it is on a dark background. So we see this orange as darker orange because it's sitting on a lighter background than this orange, while in fact they are the same orange. The less saturated, meaning less intense or paler, two colors are, the harder it is to tell them apart, as you can see in this example. So it's not a good idea to use pale color for a selected button, for example on a website, a selected highlighted button. So yellow on white is not the best idea. The smaller objects are, the harder it is to distinguish their colors. So these objects are small, they do have different colors, they are different oranges, but it is very hard to distinguish their colors. The further objects are from one another, the harder it is to distinguish their colors. Again, as you can see, the distance between the two. Hue, saturation, and value. Hue, this is what is meant by what color is this, the property of color. For example, red, yellow, green, blue are hues. Different hues are caused by different wavelengths of light. In this example, we notice that the first row are strikingly different hues, and the second row are different colors of the same hue, blue. Saturation tells how a color looks under certain lighting conditions. For instance, a room painted a solid color will appear different at night than in daylight. Although the color is the same, the saturation changes. This property of color can also be called intensity. Do not think about saturation in terms of light and dark, but rather in terms of pale, weak, and pure, strong. So the first row are different hues but same intensity. The second row are various levels of fullness for the same hue. Value. When color is described as light or dark, we are discussing its value or brightness. This property of color tells us how light or dark a color is based on how close it is to white. For instance, canary yellow is considered lighter than navy blue, which in turn is lighter than black. Therefore, the value of canary yellow is higher than navy blue and black. First row grayscale, second row stark differences in brightness. Shade and tint. Shade is a variation of a hue produced by the addition of black, and tint is a variation of a hue produced by the addition of white. So, the first image on the left is the hue, and then the shade, which is the addition of black, and tint is the addition of white to the hue, to the red hue. Creating a color palette. We determine whether or not our palette is successful by assessing the visual balance and harmony between them. Balance and harmony are achieved by the contrast that exists between color coordinations and combinations. Planning a successful color combination begins with the understanding of color relationships. For example, consider the two colors below. Their relationship is of equal dominance, the orange and the blue. What we can do is play with the intensity of the two colors, the tints and the shades, or their gradients to establish our palette. And this website called Color Scheme Designer is a great resource for colors on the web. Let's go there. Color Scheme Designer. And how it works is basically you choose the number of colors that you want. For example, if you want 3 colors, and then you can move these little circles on the wheel. So maybe you want purples with blues and oranges. And then on the right side, you can see that it organizes the colors with the shades and the tints. And then you can view this as an example on a web page. So light page example, dark page example. Let's look at the light page example. This is how you can organize that color palette on a website, and it can look like this, or on a dark page example, and it can look like this. So you choose the colors that you want, and it helps you create the palette for the page. Web colors are colors used in designing web pages. Colors may be specified as an RGB triplet in hexadecimal format or according to their English names. Only 16 colors can be called by their names. All other colors should be specified by their hexadecimal numbers. So these are the colors that can be called according to their names in English: green, gray, lime, maroon, and so forth. We can make our own color in Photoshop by choosing our color in the color picker and then copying its hexadecimal value and pasting it in our CSS file. So here is the hexadecimal value of the color we choose. Let's say we move the color picker around and we choose a blue or a red, and then we just copy the value, this hexadecimal value, and place it in our CSS file. And the hexadecimal color chart, you can find plenty of those online. You just copy, you find the color that you like, and then you copy or memorize its hexadecimal value, and you paste it in your CSS, and you'll get that color.